Ouch. Just came home to a delivery from my favorite budget brand of scooters. Let's crack it open and take a look. About a year and a half ago, I went ahead and got the Evercross H5 electric scooter and gave it a quick review. And in that video, I promised you guys that you would have what will be very infrequent review videos. I think after a year and a half, I've fulfilled that promise, and I was in the market for, as a gift, something that was in the cheaper price category. This obviously was, I think this was the first model of the Evercross H5. It was $800 at the time. They have a new model that's out. It actually looks really sweet. Similar styling in that it's a full suspension still, extendable, completely foldable handlebars, similar specs. This was, for the price category, an outstanding product. I've ridden it hundreds of miles at this point. I don't know if I can claim I've hit the 1,000 point yet, but I've ridden it everywhere. It's been on beach trips with us, lent it out to people who were going on trips, mostly family members. It's been an outstanding product. So I recently turned my interest towards getting one of the cheapest price categories of scooters as a gift for my niece in this case. So I thought I'm gonna pick up the cheapest adult electric scooter that I can find, basically as attempting to have her not outgrow a kid's scooter if I got it for her. And as I was searching, kind of found out that they really start at $300 as the bottom threshold, and then of course they go up from there. And so my intention with every purchase that I make is to make the best purchase for the money spent. I'm not rolling the dough. This is my backyard. You know, my fence is falling over. So how can I spend my money as effectively as possible to get the best product with the best quality and specs for long-term use and just overall enjoyment? And as I was looking through, I ended up landing on, interestingly enough, the same brand as the scooter that I've ridden for over a year and a half at this point with great enjoyment. So I picked up this Evercross EV08S, which was on sale with prime shipping for $254.99, which is as good of a deal as anything on the internet, just from the dollar value alone, let alone build quality and specs to go with that. And so my goal is with this to see if a prime shipping, which was in my front yard 2 days after I ordered it, if this holds up to my somewhat modest expectations, but with the expectation of good quality and a good product with specs that you would expect from a scooter in this category. Clearly it's going to be a bottom-end scooter. That's what the price is there for. It's got a rear hub motor, 350 watts, 15 mile an hour top speed, 12-mile range, different speed modes, adjustable handlebars, folds. I mean, all the things that you'd hope for in a cheap electric scooter. And then depending on the build quality and just overall feel of it, something that I may highly recommend. Regular price is listed at $300, $299.99, but it is on sale currently, and it may still be on sale at the time this video posts. But ultimately, it is the cheapest electric scooter for an adult on Amazon that conveniently comes with a name that I recognize and I have come to like. So we're gonna pop it open and see if it's anything worth talking about. My dad's got a rule. He says that you can do any job with the tools that you have within eyesight. And with winter over and our trees sprouting, that means I have pruning shears within eyesight. Extremely compact packaging. It looks like zero assembly required. Let's see if that's true. It might have some minimal assembly, but I mean, it comes with a scooter and then, oh, I gotta screw the handlebars in. Dang. Almost completely fully assembled. That's always nice. Very lightweight. It is, I mean, one hand straight out kind of weight. It has a single shock built in. It has solid core tires, which is what you would expect and also hope for, really. This is fairly soft rubber that appears like it'll grip pretty well. See if we can sort this mechanism out. Okay, so you push it down. I'm guessing that you can lock it with this somehow. It's got a nice rubber bumper there once it gets into place. Ouch. I was testing it. Oh, there you go. You just gotta put some force onto it. That's stupid. So you can fold it down out of the way. And I would assume if you want to crack it loose, let's see if that's easy to do. I would bet you just gotta step on it, would be what that's there for. So we'll lock it again. There you go. And you can fold that out of the way. You can see that is a good mechanism. And it's very stiff. It's kind of using the pressure against this rubber here. As you can see, there's a kind of a rubber stopper there. And that's kind of ideal. Hi, Caroline. You want to come film a video with Daddy?
Sure.
Okay, look at this scooter. What's that? Whoa, are you going to stand on it? Okay, hold on. That is a friction brake, which is very interesting. It's actually got a pad there. Imagine maybe there's electronic release brake potentially, but there is no other brake. Oh, there's one of these may be a brake, one of these may be a throttle.
Yeah. I'm helping.
You're helping, that's right. So they both screw back towards you. So it's listed as an adult scooter, max weight 220 pounds, but you can see the size difference between the two. My nearly 2-year-old daughter is almost tall enough to ride this one. Whereas this one, it's like, there's no chance. Now, of course, the handlebars are extendable. And that mechanism actually is simple. It's got a little groove so that you can't twist it out of alignment when you adjust it. And then it latches down firmly. I didn't need to adjust this. Obviously, you could spin this around 1 time, 2 times, how many times you needed to make that tighter. Already in miles per hour. It's actually not fluctuating like that visually. This is just the camera picking that up.
It doesn't go in.
And it's not even a kick scooter. It's just a no-frills scooter at a price point that matches that. I could keep this one in one corner of the trunk, and it wouldn't, I mean, you pull it out and just pop it and lock that little blue thing, and that's ready to rock. Let's pull up the listing again on Amazon, look at some of the full specs. Got a BMS battery, as you'd expect. 15 miles per hour, rated at 12 to 15 miles. Obviously with me, I won't get that, but the niece that it's going to is 9 years old, and she should get probably more than that. 3 speed modes. I'll pull the manual out and see if we can figure out how to work that correctly. There you go. It's only a 28-pound scooter. Here we go. So here's some of this. This is on their own website now, but it's got the 350-watt motor, which I'm assuming is peak. 36-volt, 6-amp-hour, which comes with a 1-amp charger. 1,000 milliamps right there. So it says charge time 4 to 5 hours, which might be a little longer than that, unless the charger's underrated, but it wouldn't fill up a 6-amp-hour battery in 4 to 5 hours. 15% slope, it says. Assume it's just a typical lithium ion. 18650, 21700 cell of some kind, so it's gonna have 800 to 1,000 cycles on it probably. If you do the math on 10 miles per charge, which is probably a realistic guess. Thing's probably good for 1,000 miles. 250 bucks for 1,000 miles. Pretty good. I didn't realize there is a headlight. It's just a bar headlight on the front of it. So that's actually really cool. Figure out how to turn that on. So here's some of the settings, descriptions here. Pull the power button down to turn it on or off. Press it quickly to switch speed modes, 1, 2, or 3, and then press it twice to turn the headlight on and off. If you want to switch it to kilometers, you tap it 3 times. That's about as simple as it gets. Tells you how to not hit yourself in the head. Release the accelerator, initiates automatic brake. Squeeze the left lever to make a sudden brake. And then if you do have an emergency, you tap on that back there. It tells you how to turn in case you've never been on anything with 2 wheels in your life. There you go. And then the Chinese version. You want to hop off or do you want to go in the front?
Okay. Whoa! Whoa! Whoa!
Got a little higher. Just max the height out, I guess. So it's on a low speed mode right now. It's topping out at 6 miles an hour. It felt reasonably torquey getting up to that point. We're gonna do, I think it was 1 press to change the mode. There's speed mode 3. Okay. Actually feels reasonably torquey. As you can see, the miles per hour are climbing fairly quickly. And it quite easily surpasses the 15 miles per hour with me on it. Feels very stable at this speed. Obviously 15's not an immense speed, so it makes sense that it would feel stable. And then if I hit this, that's aggressive. And it's delayed. It doesn't turn off for a while, but it does stop very well with an electronic brake. So if you were a lighter person, that would be even more aggressive. And it's not really variable. It's kind of on or off. So I would guess it's electronically limited at 15 because I bounced past it, went to 15.9 the first time. Now watch how aggressive the braking is. Pretty responsive. But just simple controls, but quite effective. Honestly, feels pretty sturdy. That was me shaking it right there. It meets the specs for speed for sure. It's got a nice electronic brake. It's lightweight, portable, adjustable to any person's height. And this is as high as the handlebars go, and that's where I would want them, but someone taller than me could ride it at the same height. So in general, a great first impression. So I figured if the scooter was gonna go to my niece as a gift, that I might as well have her over for the test rides. So we want to pick her up real quick. They live in a town that we're moving to soon, and hopefully she can use the scooter to come right over and babysit for us in a couple of years, you know? Controls.
Okay, go.
Yep, that's it. So it's going to take off pretty quick, so be ready for it.
Brakes work.
Yeah, they're pretty powerful too. Your back wheel was skidding when you hit it. When you brake, Kristen, does it feel like you lose control for a little bit? Your back wheel locks up every time.
I know.
So far we are 0.7 miles. Hi, Rush. Hi, buddy. How fast does it go up the hill? Pretty fast? Faster than mine. Yep. The best part about the scooter for kids is there's no air in the tires. It's very nice. Do you see her wheel skid when she brakes? She's pretty good at riding it already.
15.0.
It's limited. That must be only how fast it can go. All right, careful when you get off. Don't push that button.
Let's do it. we
Gonna check this. We went 2 miles. It's 2 miles each way. Thanks. Thank you.
Do you think Kristen will be able to tell us when it's time to go home?
Yeah, probably.
All right, Kristen.
We're following you now. She's cooking. Okay, Kristen, what do you think of this scooter? So, was it fast enough for you?
yeah,
How fast did it feel?
really fast.
Did it get up to speed pretty easy?
Yeah, I like that it didn't vibrate as much
That's true.
as some other scooters. Well, the
So-
other two I have.
So they have razor scooters, and this little spring doesn't soak up much, but it does take out some road vibration, and plus the handles just felt pretty soft, right?
Yeah,
So it didn't vibrate too much.
they were.
So that's an improvement. It's got bigger wheels, and
Yeah.
so that would help too.
Like
We rode it about a little over 4 miles. And how much battery did you end up losing?
just one section. I lost like that much.
So once it rested, it popped back up, but it went down 1 bar in the process of that. I would imagine with, how much do you weigh, Kristen?
6, like.
Probably close to 70 now. 70
Yeah,
pounds?
no, I'm like 60, like something.
Okay, so probably close to 70 pounds. It would easily get at least 12 miles with her. What I'll do is I'll do a full range test with me, which is close, a little over 3 times her weight, and we'll see what it gets for me. But realistically, watching her ride it, and you guys saw some of the footage, but it seems like it would probably be a great scooter for like a teenager. Would you agree, Kristen? You're not quite a teenager yet, but
But I
soon
like
you
it.
will be. Your mom wouldn't like to hear that, but soon you'll be a teenager.
That's true.
You could get around town, you could ride it to school if you lived far away from school, but you're homeschooled, so you live really close to school.
I live at school.
Oh, that's right. All right, so what I want you to do is just drive up a little ways up the
Like
road.
that white car?
Yep, and then turn around, and then when you get back to me, turn the brakes on. So what I was saying is, because it's so aggressive braking, and like I said when I was riding it, that if it were a lighter person riding it, it would be more aggressive. And she's a lighter person, and when she brakes, because the weight's not far enough towards the back, it actually skids every time, and I couldn't quite get a good video of it. All right, go ahead and brake. Oh, I didn't skid that time. Well, that was better. Normally, she'd leave like a 5-foot black mark right behind it. You wanna try one more time?
Sure.
Okay, and don't try to skid it, but just brake hard.
Okay.
And then if it skids, it skids. So this is her first day riding it. She's got a total of 4 miles on it, and she's already looking pretty good. All right, oh, there we go. We got a little skid there. She wobbled a little bit when it happened, but you can see just briefly a little mark there. I was confident in sending you to do it because I knew you'd be okay. So, is it pretty easy controls to figure out?
Yeah, it's easy controls. This is go and that's stop.
Perfect. And if you let go of the go button, it does slow you down pretty good, right? It's not very fast, but a little
it
bit.
just slows you down and eventually you stop.
Yeah, cool. Did it feel sturdy when you were riding on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you felt stable. You didn't feel like you're gonna crash. Only a couple times.
It was just at the beginning when you started the, yeah. anyways.
Good, great. Well, what we'll do is I will take it for a full range test because, you know, if you're doing a video on it, you got to give everybody the specs. And then I'll take it back down to your house at some point, and then it's yours. So happy birthday. You don't get a present in September now.
Thanks.
All right, we're going to check on if it's tracking correctly. Let's see. 0.165, but we only went 0.13 from the place of origin as the crow flies. So it seems like that's working pretty well. We'll go ahead and use this app. So I ended up charging it up after Kristen's test ride, and we went like 4.2 miles. When she was riding it, it was down 1 bar, but after resting, it was back up to full power. So I plugged it into the charger, and we ended up getting about an hour and a half charge back on it, which the top end always takes longer. So realistically, it was probably about 1 to 1.5 amp hours down out of 6. since it's a 1 amp charger. So we probably ended up using about a fourth to a fifth of the charge. So I'm guessing it would have gotten about 20 miles on that charge with her riding it. We were going close to full speed the whole time. She was cruising at 15 and we were keeping up with her on our other vehicles. So at a lightweight rider, full speed, it does get above the quoted range, potentially, depending on how light, maybe just at the quoted range, but it's quoted from 12 to 15 miles, and I'm confident she would have passed 15 easily, at least 16, probably right around 20. For me, I'm expecting maybe 8 miles. We'll see what that ends up looking like. One thing that she did say after having ridden it, that I turned the camera off before, and I wish that I hadn't, but she liked the texture of the grip tape or the deck that you stand on. It's a nice rubber. It's firmly adhered to the surface, and it is really sticky. She thought it had really good grip. It's really sticky, and it looks like it'll last a lifetime. A lot of scooters or skateboards or other things just have regular grip tape on it, and that tends to wear down or get chipped off when it gets hit by things. But this, I think, should last a long time. And one thing to note about it, this is a metal deck. I don't know if it has like a plastic skid plate or cover on it. And so when you're going off of things and up a curb or whatever, just make sure you lift it up. But otherwise, it's a really well constructed frame, so that's pretty minor. I'm not offended by that at all. Also, last night as I was doing my calculations, I lost a zero, if anybody caught that. The lifespan of this scooter would actually be about 10,000 miles, not 1,000 miles. Here is the final outcome of my test. This was a full speed test. It's pretty clearly limited to 15 miles an hour electronically. At 6.5 miles in, it dropped down from 15 miles per hour to 13.7 miles per hour. And then an additional mile later, like 7.4 something, it started dropping down to 8.9, 7.9, 6.9. The screen looks funny through the camera, but it's flashing the battery from 0 to 1 bars, meaning it's dead. So it seemed like it has like electronic limp modes. Once it drops below a certain voltage, it'll go to 13.7, and then once it drops below a certain voltage, it'll just slowly, incrementally limp you at lower and lower speeds. But I mean, quite pleased. I was expecting less than 8 for sure. Every acceleration, if I had to stop, it was full acceleration back up to 15 miles an hour. Stopping time is what brought this down below the 15 mile an hour average speed. And then obviously once I got to 13.7 and lower speeds, that brought it down as well. But I was full throttle for 42 minutes. I'm gonna push it the rest of the way home. I don't want to damage the battery or anything. Anytime you like push it super hard when it's dead, it's not healthy for it. So I'm just gonna push it physically with my own body, push it home or carry it. It's super light. It's 27 pounds. I can easily carry it. And then I'll get it on the charger, and then it's a gift. But I'm quite pleased. I did feel some pretty decent road vibrations. If I stood with my feet on it, spaced about like this, the front was not nearly as severe vibrations as the back was. So that little spring is doing a little bit of an effect, which is all that it's really there for. My hands don't tingle from the vibration. That's totally fine. And you can absorb vibration with your legs. You just bend your knees a little bit and it eats it up. So it wasn't uncomfortable in any stretch to ride on this, and it performed well. It was 15 miles an hour true, straight through until it started to get to low voltage. I mean, it was at 1 bar before it dropped me below 15 miles an hour. If I hit a hill, it might sag a little bit, but it was still able to pull over the hills up until it hit the 1 bars where it really starts to reduce performance. That's limp mode. You got like a mile left once you hit that 1 bar mark. So otherwise, it's what I was expecting. And obviously this is with a relatively heavyweight ride. I'm at the limit on this. It's rated at 220 or less. I'm right at about 220, so it was right at what it's rated for. And me at full power at the top of the rating, still got 8 out of the 12 quoted miles, close to 8. Pretty good. I'm quite pleased. My niece will get 20 out of it, so great. That's perfect for her. I think this is the perfect scooter for a teenager. It's lightweight. They can put it in a car. It folds up real small. It gets them as much mileage as they need. It's limited to a slower speed, sure, but 15 will get you around. I mean, I just went 8 miles in 42 minutes. So like, there's nothing to complain about in that sense. It's good for a 4-mile round trip at 220 pounds. So I would imagine that if you are 150 pounds, you could do 5 miles one direction very safely, as long as it's relatively flat ground. I didn't test it on hills for distance, but it does have enough torque to pull over mild hills. Like, it's quoted at 15 degrees. That's probably about accurate, even for me. It's fairly torquey at 350 watts. So I mean, quite pleased. I'm thinking here, the quality of the build, the specs that it has, the cool features of the electronic brake and all that, I have very little to complain about. And when you consider the price, I mean, a fantastic purchase is my final assessment. I don't know. I mean, I would say I'm beyond pleased with what this product is. Very well built. It stands up to everything that it was asked to do at $240. There was an extra $15 off coupon I found at the end of it all. So in spite of it being listed at $3, there was a coupon and then a discount. And as the time of me filming this video, I could get it for $240. I mean, so there we are, signing out from here. I'm just going to push this back home and catch you guys on the go-kart teardown and some of the more regular stuff. I just felt like this was definitely worth doing a video about, since I had it on my front porch and I had a phone in my pocket. So here we are. But I'll catch you guys on the next one, and, you know, maybe another year and a half later, throw another review when I actually find something that I personally want to buy again. So there we are. I'll catch you guys later.